What if I was to tell you the Cubs got down 5-0 on a really bad defensive play, came back, then got down again, then came back and won? Would that be something you're interested in? Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. The Cubs were down 5-0 entering the bottom of the fifth inning on Tuesday night, but stormed back to win 7-6. Shota Imanaga got hit around for the second straight start and wasn't helped by his defense, and we will detail all of that, but it was the offense that picked up their teammates, and we will detail all of that as well. Sam, it was nice to see the Cubs complete the comeback and start this series and this week with a victory.
Big win. Needed it. I needed it. You needed it. We needed it. They needed it. It was a very big win. And look, there's going to be a lot of, man, they barely beat the White Sox. And, it's tough. Listen, the White Sox had 3 leads against the Brewers this weekend. One of those games went 10 innings, I believe, on Saturday. These are baseball games. The Cubs came back from a 5-0 game today to win. It was a very important win. I'd like to give a shout out to Ian Happ, who basically, since I lost it on him on this show, has been our best hitter by a wide margin. And, Matt, when we were losing this game and it was ugly, a lot of people were tweeting, I can't wait to see Sam tonight. I can't wait to see him rant, all this stuff. And you want to know what? You know this because we had a call during the rain delay. I wasn't going to rant. When I yell about somebody, when I scream, that's actually me and anyone else telling you that they care, right? They want it. They think that could happen. That's why you see me rant about Happ or Suzuki or Swanson, because those guys have shown that they could do it before. So it's so frustrating. And when you see a guy like Happ flash the talent like that, of course it's not going to be like that all the time, but it was really important for him. That was a really important hit for the team. Morel, we will get to his defense in this segment, but a big 2-run homer from him. And then I thought Patrick Wisdom, stroke of genius there from Counsell, got him in. I actually was upset at Counsell on Friday for going to Wisdom in the 7th in a 1-run game to lead off for Tauchman. But that was because I knew Tauchman's spot was going to come up again in the 9th, and that actually turned out to be the magical spot. When you're pinch hitting him for Bush, with the way Bush has been, if you feel like he's got a decent chance to get one up there, you do it. So it was really good managing. Wisniewski made a horrific pitch to Robert, and then we came back and again, key play of the game for me was Bellinger beating that play at second with DeYoung trying to go glove to glove there, second base. I thought that was the key play of the entire inning. And then Neris, who was not sharp once again, found a way to close it out. But these wins, man, look, at some point they're going to have to start rolling some teams. They're going to have some 11-1s, 11-2s. It'd be nice to have a winning. Yeah. It'd be nice to have a winning streak on Wednesday night where you'll be in attendance. But you got.
I will be at the game Wednesday. Let me know if you'll be there.
And I, you have to start somewhere. And this was a really nice way to start. They also had a nice win on Saturday, coming back from 4-0 on a bad defensive play by Suzuki. But let's build on it. Let's move forward. Let's check the next box. Let's win Wednesday evening. Start a winning streak. Win again on Thursday. Then you start to go a little bit. Okay. Cardinals gave you some help today. Brewers gave you some help today. So,
go Cubs.
Let's start to get going a little bit. But I do have some concerns from this game about the starter and the defensive third baseman. I'll let you go first.
Well, they haven't been able to build off a big win. They win at midnight on Saturday, then they drop one immediately the next day. Yeah, you have to get on a roll here and build off these wins. I believe in momentum within seasons, and I think this could be a spot where that definitely happens. And this was a game where the outline was made, the title was made, the description was made, and the thumbnail were all ready to go. I kept telling Kira, make me change the outline, make me change the headline, make me change the thumbnail, and they did it. I even had a rant of my own ready that I hope I never have to use. You want to know why? You're playing one of the worst teams in baseball history. One of the worst teams. Does it matter that it's June 4th?
Southside, stand up.
They were able to come back.
You can laugh. It was funny, man.
And win 7-6. And we like that. We're going to enjoy that. We're going to talk about this whole game. This first segment, folks, is basically the whole episode. This might be a 20-minute segment. I don't care. I make the rules here. It might be, we'll get to Cade Horton and Owen Casey. We'll get to the NL Central standings. But what a job by the offense. It was 1 run in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. Highlights the 2-run homer from Morel, 2-run homer from it was Morel.
Wisdom.
And I'm sorry, I'm having a break. Wisdom. Okay, the Wisdom homer. That swing on 3-2.
Yeah.
You finally have the fans getting on their feet. It's a pretty good pitch. He hits a home run. Can Wisdom play third base? Let's get to that in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then Ian Happ, dude, the last dozen games or so from Ian Happ have been electric.
Yeah, he's been really
hope
good.
it continues. He really can be a linchpin for this team. Go ahead, 2-run double there in the bottom of the 8th. Where do you want to start offensively? Because they really did pick up their teammates.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to start anywhere. I think you kind of covered it. I thought Suzuki swung the bat well, even though it was an 0 for 4. Morel, Wisdom, Wisdom's weird, man. Like he'll have some of those at bats. I want to start with the third base thing, I guess, because I already talked about all the positive stuff. I think the experiment is over. And
really,
and I think I'm there. Yeah. Well, I've been there since day one. I've been there since it was flirted in spring training. It never made sense to me. And the irony of it is, Matt, it's actually gone better than I thought it would there defensively. And he's still by far the worst third baseman in baseball. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. It's not necessarily errors on the stat sheet. It's just other things too.
He
had a big one tonight.
He doesn't know how to play the position. It's just, that's all it is. He just doesn't know. It's not like Madrigal, for example. They taught him how to play a good third because he had those little instincts and those little moves to make, and it came to him. It doesn't come to Morel. That play today is a play, and I know you roll your eyes when I say this, but a high schooler makes that play. You don't charge that. You sit back, you take your out, you move on. There's only a very
first and second, 1 out.
There's about a select few of maybe 8 guys. 2 of them are playing now, Nolan Arenado and Matt Chapman, ironically, that probably turned 2 there. Most people, you're not going to be able to pick
trying to do too much.
Field it in one motion. It's just not. The game I was at on Saturday, he tries to, what was he trying to turn? A triple play, threw it to second, threw the ball in the center.
Right.
It's just not it's just not his thing. Now, I understand the complications, right? You have to keep Morel's bat in the lineup. Even though the numbers aren't great, the underlying numbers, he is, and I know people don't like to hear this, he is the most unlucky hitter in baseball as it stands right now. He has the best quality of contact with the worst results, so he has to DH. If he DHs, let's say you put Bodie or Wisdom at third base. If you want PCA in center.
Could you put Wisdom at third?
But then who's going to be the out of Suzuki, Happ, PCA, Bellinger? One of those guys then has, and Bush, one of those guys has to sit. It's probably Bush, but
right, it's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient, but I just think it's, by all metrics, man, like I just don't think people, and I'm not trying to say you should. I just don't think people realize how bad it's been over there. And it's when we talk about how bad the Cubs defense is, that plays a huge part in it. So I'd like to start there, I guess.
Well, and I remember visiting in the off season, especially January, February shows, even March when council said, well, especially March,
I'm
when
happy about
council
this win.
said,
I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. Lay off me, everybody, please. I couldn't be happier. I was on the phone with Nick during this game for an hour. We talked about the whole game. We had live conversations. I actually called the Morel homer. He could back me up if he watches it before the pitch, way before. He called some plays. We were celebrating like we were in college again. I can't be more happy, but I have to call it like it is. This kid can't play third.
well, but we said that in March was what I was trying to say. And
Yeah.
when council said, hey, Morel's going to be over there to start spring training. And we thought, okay, they're going to give it a test drive in spring. They'll all realize, hey, it's not sustainable. And then Morel will basically be a full-time DH again. And maybe that's where it's still trending. But yeah, it was hard to see that because Imanaga was rolling through
Yeah,
three.
Yeah.
And then the Sox go single, E5, pop out to the catcher, double, ground out to Morel, who didn't look back. The runner who advanced to third didn't matter because the next hitter hit a homer. Lennon Sosa's first of the year, and then strike out mercifully and end the inning. Fifth inning, they went double, pop out before the 42-minute rain delay. So 7 hits and 4 1/3 for the lefty Imanaga. Only 1 run was earned of the 5, but he definitely got barreled a few times there. And we'll follow up on that in a minute. I just, the thing with Morel too, and I get the conundrum with the lineup. Okay, so who misses plate appearances? But does Bodie and or Wisdom, it's not an enthralling option.
No, it isn't.
It's just not, Bodie, we thought wasn't a big leaguer anymore. Wisdom has been a first baseman / DH since spring
Wisdom's
training.
a bench player. Can we say Wisdom's a nice bench piece?
Yeah, he's a bench piece.
He's a nice one.
So this really is difficult right now, and I really don't know where council's going to go with this because your backup third baseman that could actually pick it a little bit over there couldn't hit, and so he's in Des Moines again
or run.
So yeah, I mean, let's see. Maybe Bodie plays there on Wednesday and Bush sits. You had the Bush Talkman question entering this ball game. You see that Talkman sitting against righties now. That's a big story.
And I'm okay with that. I think Talkman did his job. I'm okay with him losing some starts for a little while. I think like I said, I think he's an overqualified.
He was a bench piece going into the year too.
Yeah, and I think he's an overqualified fourth outfielder. And that's fine. You want to talk about Shota?
Is the regression real for Imanaga? Because he got hit around, like I said, only the 1 earned, so the ERA doesn't look bad on the MLB.com page right now.
Yeah, but he was worse than that.
He did get barreled at times, despite not having help from the defenders.
Yeah. I sound like a football coach after a game. I got to look more at the tape.
Yeah,
but it feels like teams now are being a lot more aggressive against him the last 2 games.
Early in the count, especially.
Yeah, early in the count, going after him. I thought his splitter was better today, but he still left a couple in the zone. It'll be interesting to see. Look, when he was rolling like that, we all knew it wasn't sustainable. We knew that wasn't a sustainable way to depend on winning. And so he's going to regress a bit. And it was really nice to have him regress today in a loss. In a win for the Cubs. So, I think it's TBD. Is his next start going to be against Cincy? Is that who he's going to schedule to go?
It should be on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be, and that's a smaller park, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I would say right now I'm a little bit concerned just because what's happening is what we feared, right? The home run ball and things that we were told. But again, he's been so great. It's hard to kind of to go on him. Like, even if he has a couple more bad starts and he ends the year with the ERA in the high 2s, it's still an excellent season. So, I think he's a very smart pitcher. And I think he's going to look at tape, ironically, like I just said, figure it out, make some adjustments. Maybe he needs to use his secondaries just a little bit more. So instead of just fastball split, fastball split, fastball split, he throws in a slider, he throws in a little bit more of a curve, not just to show me it, but to just get these guys off of it a little bit, because no matter how good you are as a 2-pitch starter, these are big leaguers. And we can make fun of the Sox all you want. They're still big leaguers. They're better than 99.9% of the population at hitting. And so they figure it out, and the Brewers figured it out. So we'll see, but I'm not there yet. I need to see another start, because the one thing he did do today was he was missing bats early, like you said.
I think breaking ball could be something to try his next outing, especially against the Reds. And
Wisniewski did that, and then he threw another 0-0 breaking ball at 0-1. And then it got hit, and it hit a cicada.
Same spot, 2 pitches in a row.
It hit a cicada right outside my yard.
And I wouldn't even mind seeing an 0-0 split, and then you go high velo up in the zone. Yeah, and then you go back to the split or breaking ball if you're ahead in the count. So we'll see about that. Okay, so let's go to the bullpen then.
Miguel Amaya hit the ball hard twice. I'd like to give him that.
Yes, he did. That's great. 42-minute rain delay. This is following the 3-hour, 20-minute rain delay on Saturday. I still can't believe.
Hey,
the
keep
rain
raining.
Delay was longer than a game.
What's the weather like tomorrow?
It's supposed to rain in the morning and then clear out. So, and I will be in attendance with that in that one. Yeah, and I will be in my new Locked On Cubs shirts. Only 2 were made for Sam and I. Tyson Miller picked up Imanaga when play resumed, went 1 2/3. Wisniewski, 2 quick outs. You blink, 2 quick outs, and the 0-1 pitch to Robert, smashed. You can't make mistakes against this dude. We said it last year. We said it on Tuesday's episode, and he did that. And did you see, Sam, him coming off the field, talking to himself?
No.
I mean, the guy does that. That's not a surprise to you. You didn't see it, but he was giving himself a pep talk. He really, he gets going out there.
Yeah, he's animated on the mound.
Yeah, with another fantastic inning for him, the big lefty.
If Little throws strikes, he's unhittable.
Cubs.
Right. He's nearly unhittable. And then Hector Neris, a little drama at the end. But they a big pickoff play.
That Neris
of the night to close it.
The Neris sequence to Sosa was unbelievable. He went his best pitch is splitter. He threw 5 straight fastballs. The 1-2 was right down the middle. Luckily, it was just rifled right at Ian Happ for an out.
Wow.
Hey, Dansby Swanson, I thought, had a good game defensively at shortstop today. That double play the double play that he turned on Maldonado, that was a pretty crazy double play. That was not an easy ball to pick. That's a great point. Yeah.
And anytime a ball's hit the center, I love seeing PCA. His left or his right, man.
Yeah.
Making plays. What else from this game, Sam? Oh, would you like to see Porter Hodge in a big spot this week?
I wouldn't say a big spot, but I don't think. Yeah, I guess technically yes, because I would have liked to see him when he was warming up and the Cubs tied, and I liked him there over Wisniewski, and he just pitched on Saturday in a tie game late.
Right.
By the way, I got a chance real quick, Matt. When I was at the game, looking through the glass, watching him warm up. Man, is he a big guy? Really built.
Well, yeah, he's like 6'5", man.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could go, catch balls behind him from Caleb Williams.
Go Cubs.
So as Sam looks up the line for Wednesday, courtesy of FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Let me give you the pitching matchup. It's Jamison Tyone versus Eric Fetty. By the way, the Cubs were minus 300 favorites at first pitch for this one. Tyone, Fetty, Wednesday. Tyone has been good in his 8 starts this season. So is Fetty, but Fetty has struggled mightily on the road. 5.74 ERA on the road compared to a 0.95 ERA at guaranteed rate field. So let's see if the Cubs could get to Fetty. If Tyone can give the Cubs another quality start or better, and the Cubs can win the series Wednesday and improve to 31-31. The Cubs were favorites earlier in the day. Now, after this ball game, Sam, what's that number at?
It's currently at -185 for the Cubs, which really is it's a Vegas zone number. Basically just saying, they actually like the Sox a little bit, but they know tons of money is going to come in on the Cubs. We'll see what happens with that. I think the Cubs, they got to carry this momentum, find a way to win this baseball game.
And I will be at that game as well.
Oh,
Coming up next, we have an update on Cade Horton.
Boy, you better be at this point. You better be you better start.
Hopefully nothing. Yeah, hopefully nothing happens between now and then. Hoping to take a few swings before the game. So, coming up next, Cade Horton. He's injured. Have we updated listeners on that? Well, we're about to. Also updating some Owen Casey numbers and the later NL Central standings. Today's episode is presented by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The experience of searching for and then buying tickets on Game Time is simple. Plus, it's the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Why? Because you can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, creating an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed with Game Time. Cubs play the White Sox at 7:05 p.m. Central Wednesday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. Cade Horton, it was stated on Tuesday by the Cubs that he has a lat strain. He will be shut down 3 to 4 weeks, then will build back up. He has already reported to the Sloan Park facilities down there in Mesa, Arizona. And originally with Horton, when he got hurt last week, Sam, we were wondering what the diagnosis would be, or really what the problem was. Originally, it was a back issue, and now it's a lat strain. 3 to 4 weeks in the grand scheme doesn't sound like a lot, but he was starting to get on a little bit of a roll, and really, just in terms of pitch count, that was really what I was keeping track of. He was in the high 70s, about 3-4 starts in a row. And he'll have to shut it down and then basically have another spring training in a few weeks.
Yeah. I think the two guys on our list going into the season that we thought would probably, I shouldn't say we, I'll speak for myself. I don't know why I do that. It's not fair to you. That I thought would make earlier impacts than people thought at the big league level were going to be the following of Cade Horton and Matt Shaw. And both actually had started to show signs. Matt Shaw continues to show signs. He's starting to heat up, and I actually think he's one good week away, maybe a couple good weeks away from starting to flirt with promotion. Even though the average is still low, all the other things, the OPS, the strikeouts, the walks, they're all in really good places where it's not like he's overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? With Cade, it was a little bit more up and down. When I saw back soreness, I immediately was like, well, is it his low back or is it his lat? You know what I mean? Right in this area right here. Because that is a pitching injury. If I remember correctly, Jake Peavy had a major lat issue during the prime
just below the shoulder there.
Yeah. So, like you said, 3-4 weeks, not the end of the world. But now I would be surprised, it's probably going to be a good long while until you see him up here. But, you're just trying to avoid at that point with a young pitcher like him, anything that's going to be a TJ or a long absence. So hopefully he can rehab and be good. And to be honest with you, no matter what they do with Ben Brown, Ben Brown's been much more than I expected. And I know he had a little bit of a hiccup on Sunday, but with the way he looks, I think it doesn't make the Cade Horton thing as necessary right now, because I think if you are fully healthy, let's just say, and Wicks does come back and pitch as well, and Imanaga figures it back out. Tyone continues to be solid, Steele, whatever. Assad, then Ben Brown can kind of be that swing guy and that dominant guy that comes in max effort. So, moral of the story, just hopefully Cade Horton gets healthy and nothing, this isn't a lingering thing.
Well, and I wonder when he comes back healthy and he reports back to the iCubs, if he goes immediately to the pen.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that way your transition to the big league Cubs, which was going to be in the bullpen likely, maybe is from the get-go.
Maybe, but he's also going to have tons of time off. So innings now is not even going to be a concern.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Owen Casey hit a grand slam Tuesday night for the iCubs. For the season, Sam, he's slashing 302, 421, 453 with 4 homers and 13 dubs. I'm starting to wonder if we see him this year.
Yeah, where?
Right. It's a crowded roster picture right now for the Cubs.
First, right? First, probably.
Well, he hasn't played first yet down there.
DH, I guess. But then what do you do?
So, yeah, I guess it would have to be because of injury and less of poor performance. It's just
there's going to be
right now.
There's going to be an injury. So, I mean, that's just how it works.
Okay, well, then maybe he does get a shot.
Maybe he's the next guy up instead of Canario.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's a good point by you. So that's our Down on the Farm report for today and really for this week. At this point, Horton and Casey also
Matt,
got a little bit right there on Shaw.
What are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow night? You want to catch that game
tomorrow
together?
night, I'll be at the Cubs game at Wrigley Field. My first Cubs White Sox game. Sam will be solo.
Wait, are you serious?
Likely live after the game. I will still be producing this effort for the audio side when I get home from the park.
Wait, are you serious?
You'll be solo, and you'll still have to do 3 segments, Sam, and all that.
Wait, I'm not talking about that. This is your first Cubs Sox game?
Yeah.
No, it is. No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's my first Cubs White Sox game. I will be in attendance for. That's going to be Wednesday.
I'm calling bluff on that.
I'm
calling live bluff.
If I did,
I'm contacting your father after the episode.
Well, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to contact him.
We'll contact him in the morning.
Yeah,
he's been sleeping for a while.
I'm not going to wake him up at 11 o'clock on a weeknight. That'd be cruel.
Right.
There's no way you haven't been to a Cubs Sox game, man.
My dad said he enjoyed Tuesday's show a lot.
I've been to at least a dozen.
You've been to 12 Cubs Sox games?
No, it's a lie. Half dozen. At least a half dozen. I know I've been in my memory at least to 4 over on 35th and Shields. At least 4. I was at the game where Sammy Sosa was 0 for 5 with 5 Ks and his 6th AB tied that puppy up at extras. I was at the right field bleachers with my dad and one of his coworkers, Morey, R.I.P. to him.
Let's get a look.
He was like 90 years old. He was a great employee. He lived to about 98. Great guy.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Let's get a look at the NL Central standings right after this.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. It's winner take all time in the NBA. Thursday night, it's time. Celtics, Mavericks, Luka, Tatum, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. The Celtics are the favorite right now at minus 220 to win the title, but I got a little bit of FanDuel action on Dallas and maybe even a little sprinkle on Luka for finals MVP. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book.
Let's take a look at the NL Central standings to wrap up this winning episode as the Cubs come back from down 5-0 and win 7-6. They could hit the 500 mark on Wednesday, and I will be in attendance for that game. Brewers 36-25, Cubs 30-31, Cardinals 28-31, Pirates 28-32, and Reds 28-33. But don't let some of these records fool you. Cardinals are 13-7 since May 12th. Reds are 8-3 in their last 11, and Jared Jones and the Pirates shut out the Dodgers on Tuesday, and they can win that series Wednesday behind Paul Skeens. And for as good as the Brewers have done on the whole, since May 17, Sam, they are 10-8, which is not exactly a world beating, but it looks more impressive with the start they got off to and really the struggle of the Cubs. Thoughts on the NL Central as we're now over a week past Memorial Day, the first checkpoint?
My thoughts are that if this isn't an NL Central thought, but an NL thought, if the Angels hold on against the Padres, the Cubs will be tied for the second wild card spot.
Don't do this.
So, no, I think every team right now still feels like they're very much in the Central race. The Reds are starting to play better baseball. We're going to be catching a hot Reds team at Great American this weekend.
8-3 in their last 11.
Yeah, the Pirates got that win today. I mean, listen, Jones.
They could really pitch, man.
Man, Jones and Skeens and Keller. That's a heck of a front three right there.
That's real.
I still don't think St. Louis is very good.
Okay.
I think they really got help from the Cubs that weekend. That really got them going. The Cubs should have won one of those games. That was ridiculous. And Milwaukee's obviously the best team right now. They're getting a couple losses in Philly. That's the best team in the land right now, along with the Yankees, who are just an absolute joy to watch on a daily basis.
Crazy what they're doing.
Yeah, they're fun, man. It's fun to have superstars.
Judge and Soto, the first pair of teammates with an OPS plus of 180 or above since two Yankee stars. That would be Ruth and Gehrig.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube as we make the push to 10,000 subs. Smash the like button for the algorithm and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you want more Matt and Sam, consider supporting us by subscribing to our Unlocked podcast. We're 20 episodes in on that. We just put out a show Monday night and would love for you to check that out. The link to subscribe is in this episode description. It was fun to go live with you, Sam, tonight, and always is. No gimmicks on this show. We actually go live after the games, and it was a good time with you.
Enjoy the game on Wednesday night. It'll be the first solo episode for me, probably since early September, something along like that, unless I did one in the off season.
It's my honeymoon in January.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever. First during the season, I meant. Gosh, all these technicalities. I don't know.
During the season. Okay.
I did an episode alone, I think, on Christmas this year.
Yeah, well, that was your decision.
No, I'm not complaining about it.
Go Cubs.
All right, Cubs back to the 500 mark, hopefully after a Wednesday win. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On.
Now, we ain't taking that.